Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. We are here after the Eagles beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And just to let you guys know, we had a Prize Picks free square, and it was for Mahomes to get one passing yard. Now,
He
it was
barely got
very
it.
hard to get because he
Yeah.
was held to one of his worst performances of all time in the first half, his worst first half in history when he's played. But Riv, this is your moment as the Eagles fan on the podcast. Congratulations for this victory. Now, what do you have to say about this?
It's been a long time, man, it's vindicating, That's a big word. I'm not a big word guy, but I feel like I
Moment like
used it
this,
right.
it calls for a big word.
It does, and it feels amazing. I feel like all year long, it's been a rocky road from losing to the Atlanta Falcons in a tough end of game drive to going into the playoffs, struggling against the Packers, playing the Rams, losing to the Commanders like by blowing a 20-point lead. It's just been a great all around year. To Saquon breaking the record, him having 2K. To AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas. We got Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio, the defense being at the top of its game. I know we're gonna get into the game and talk about what happened, but I'm excited, man. 2 rings in 5 or 6 years. I've seen things old time Eagles fans just couldn't see. Like they didn't get to feel what I feel right now. Like they left this earth, unfortunately, not being able to see their team win, man. And I feel great. I feel this is 2 rings, 2 different squads. I feel like, and me, Drew, talked about it. This is the best Eagles team I've seen in my life. Like this team defensively, woo! I know we're gonna talk about the game, but man, I just want to get some things off my chest. Joel, I saw your tweet, man. I saw your tweet about how you were early. You was early. That was a cute tweet. I see you got your Mahomes jersey on. I feel like you needed to put that on because there's gonna be a lot of caping from Mahomes after that dog shit performance he put out there. That shit was abysmal. I want you to know that from the bottom of my heart. He played the worst game of his life. He really, truly was awful. Really didn't look like the best quarterback we've ever seen. Worse than Josh Allen, Lamar. Like honestly, worse than Tua in that snow game. You could blame the snow on that game. He
And
was
that's
out in the he was in a dome and he
Don't go
just
that
did
far.
not look good. But I'm excited. I know Philly's gonna be lit. This is the best year in Philly history. I couldn't be more grateful for it. I want to share this with Dels. Dels is he turned the corner last episode. He turned the corner,
here,
and I
Riv.
and I and I let him back in. He was talking his shit. So this is a moment. Like I feel good. I almost ran outside naked. That's how good I felt. Like it really is an exciting moment, man.
Congratulations to you, Riv. You feel like you deserve this. You've been through a lot of turmoil with the Eagles. Not really. This has been a great franchise, but it's been a lot of long years in between when Nick Foles won to now. You experienced a heartbreaking loss. I didn't like your ending statement. I feel like it was a little bit disrespectful to the guy who's been riding with the Eagles for most of the postseason, but specifically riding with the Super Bowl MVP and quarterback in Jalen Hurts. For you to just let Dales back in. I mean, Riv, did you not think about this? It just left your mouth so quickly.
No, that sounded a little. Drew not banned. It's just unfortunately I can't share this with him today because he made a vow and he stuck with that vow. But Drew ain't leave. Drew is still here with us. Just today, I can't share that with him today. Unfortunately, that's all. That's all it is.
And I promise I am not mad because the real ones know the Drew curse is alive and well. We plotted all year long. It took to the very last game of the season, but we finally got it, boys. Philadelphia, more importantly to me, Jalen Hurts, the handsome one, not just a Super Bowl champion, Dells, but also Super Bowl MVP. Just to hear it, to say it, it feels so good. It feels so great. It's all right, Riv. This is your day. I don't need any type of glory right now. I'll have my conversation with a certain someone. I'm assuming later in this show. But all credit, all happiness to you, Mr. River Brown. Enjoy a Super Bowl win. It's an amazing feeling. I bet it is.
The last 2 years when the Chiefs have won, I had the utmost faith that they were going to win. Now, I feel like I've been mentally preparing myself for this moment because I think the Eagles are juggernauts, and it takes a lot for them to to lose games this year. We've seen it. They very rarely get taken out of their element because it's hard to. You're always sacrificing something defensively to take something away that they do, and even then, it's very hard to stop. I want to start with the subject of Patrick Mahomes and him being the greatest of all time, greatest quarterback that has ever lived. I think after this performance, it's a long road ahead. Tom Brady, the only argument you have for Mahomes being the GOAT over Tom Brady is because Mahomes was about to accomplish something that has never been done in NFL history. We still have to look at the gap that they have. Brady has 7 rings. Mahomes has 3 championships. Now, a three-peat would have done wonders for Mahomes, but you're looking at the record that Brady has, 7-3 in the Super Bowl. Mahomes is 3-2. You look at Brady's Super Bowl stats: 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 97.7 rating. Mahomes, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 91.4 rating. Mahomes has more interceptions than Tom Brady in the Super Bowl in half the games played. Mahomes, without a doubt, playoff statistically, he's up there. He's number one. Regular season, I still think this is the greatest peak, but there's only one guy that's ahead of Mahomes, and it's Tom Brady. That's the number one thing I want to start at. And number two thing I want to mention is ultimate credit to the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they outmatched the Chiefs, and I feel like every team they've played this year, they always had a talent advantage. This is the best defensive performance, one of, that I've ever seen in my life. I compare this to when the Seahawks beat the crap out of the Broncos, who were one of the best offenses in the NFL in their Super Bowl. They didn't blitz Mahomes not once on over 40 dropbacks, and they still were able to get double-digit quarterback hits. They were able to get 6 sacks. Their front four controlled the entire game. And then you look at even when they didn't pressure Mahomes, the coverage was so sticky. You look at the interceptions that Mahomes threw. The first one was just a blatant error. The second one, Joe Tooney's getting pushed into him, and Zach Bond just reads it perfectly. This Eagles defense is great, and we got to give credit to 2 people. It's Vic Fangio and it's Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman for building his roster, which is a juggernaut of a roster, and Vic Fangio for coaching it up. And then offensively, the Chiefs were able to stop the run for the most part, but Jalen Hurts was great on third downs. Jalen Hurts was on time with the football. He was great. He was amazing with his legs. And big game Jalen is a real thing. Jalen Hurts in his 2 Super Bowl performances, 7 total touchdowns, 333 yards per game, 2 turnovers, one of them being an interception, one of them being a fumble, over 100 passer rating. We can talk about how loaded this roster is, but Jalen Hurts showed up in the biggest moment, and he's shown up in the biggest moments. The 3 biggest games he's been a part of with the Eagles, the NFC Championship game and both Super Bowls, he showed out. So the Eagles get nothing but respect. This is the best team in the NFL this year. This was the best roster in the NFL this year. And it feels eerily similar to how we talked about the Celtics last season, where we all knew that the Celtics were the most talented, but we always felt like maybe something could have went wrong here or there. There wasn't a full trust in them. There was the same type of energy for the Eagles, but they came out and they proved, you can doubt us all you want, but we're the best team and we're going to win it all. And they did that. They dominated the Chiefs.
Yeah, that commercial after the game too, the Jalen Hurts top 10 commercial, that moved the shit out of me. I don't know about y'all. That moved me. They had that ready to go. Talk about this game though.
Love hurts.
Rib, first of all, me and you, only 2 to pick the Eagles. John wasn't against them. We know both of these guys went with the Chiefs. Casuals, really casuals. Because if you looked at this game, I like how Joel kind of broke down how this is comparable to the Celtics last year, because the only time or the only way we saw the Mavericks winning or the Chiefs winning, it's like, oh, Luka Doncic is just going to be so amazing that he's just going to be able to outperform everyone in the Celtics. For the Chiefs, it's like, Patrick Mahomes, just no matter what, he just finds a way to win. And even though there were some things like Spags going up against Jalen Hurts, for the majority of it, it was like, well, there's one team that's just obviously better, right? On both sides of the ball, there's one team that has been better. And it's funny because we spent a lot of the time on last episode. I remember Joel's like, what should we start with? The Eagles offense versus the Chiefs defense, or vice versa? And I was like, I think the story of this game is how Jalen Hurts is going to respond to Spags with all the different exotic looks he's gonna be bringing him. But man, after this game, it felt like the opposite. It felt like Patrick Mahomes had no idea what was coming. And as you mentioned, he wasn't even getting blitzed. Just those 4 defensive linemen were able to constantly get to Patrick Mahomes and cause trouble. And he was getting sacked time after time. He took at least 4 sacks in this game. There was one time he took back-to-back sacks. And it's hard to remember a time where Patrick Mahomes is taking 2 sacks on the same drive, let alone back-to-back within the same series. So they just completely dominated the line of scrimmage here. And I think Jalen Hurts did a lot of good things in this game. But the best thing he did to me was against pressure and against the blitz. Time and time again, he was able to step up in the pocket. Time and time again, he was able to avoid pass rushers and avoid negative plays. He was able to, get out, get 10 to 15 yards, keep the chains moving. This was an ass kicking beginning to end, offensively and defensively. Outside, the Chiefs did one thing. They shut down Saquon Barkley. And if we came into this game saying Saquon's going to average under 4 a carry and it's 3.5, we're like, damn, this is going to be, this is going to be a bit of a rugged game for Philly's offense. But it was the complete opposite. They were able to hit big plays down the field. Jalen Hurts was able to use his legs. And then defensively, interception after interception, sack after sack. This defense that had been so elite all season long. And the biggest difference between this team in 2024 compared to the Eagles team in 2022 is this defense that was elite in the regular season was actually an elite unit. And it showed up in the playoffs time and time and time again. Had their best game and biggest game in the Super Bowl and made Patrick Mahomes look like a version we really haven't seen Patrick Mahomes play maybe in his career. I think if you look at that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, but when you take into account all the injuries they had on the offensive line, maybe you let that slide. But for what we were expecting Mahomes to do, which was at a minimum be competitive, like if he lost 27-30, we're like, okay, but this was beginning to end. The Chiefs could not do anything defensively. And then offensively, it was really the Jalen Hurts show. Super Bowl MVP, well-deserved. And man, what a team. This Eagles team is one of the most talented we've had in a long time.
Rav, anything? You want to talk a little bit or?
Yeah. I just want to, start by saying this. Like Dell's mentioned, it was belt to ass from the moment the game started. From the moment the game tipped off, it was belt to ass. I mean, this Eagles defense, and I've been talking about it all year. This defense has shut down everybody from Lamar Jackson to Joe Burrow to now, Patrick Mahomes to Jaden Daniels a few times. Like this defense has completely put teams in a box. Even Matthew Stafford for a portion of that game, they put him in a box. Like this defense has seen the best of the best, and it's held its own all year. And I think this, we talked about it last show. We thought Spags was going to come up and he was going to do his thing. And the way Hurts was just so prepared for everything for the most part. I mean, even on a couple of those third downs, just having that instinct to know somebody was behind you and then to make a run for it, get a 15-10 yard gain with his legs, being able to hit Smitty down the field, being able to have that connection with AJ Brown. AJ Brown was frying Trent McDuffie. Like he was truly frying him one-on-one, man-to-man coverage. And that was the fear. If you put man-to-man coverage with AJ Brown, there's not many dudes at corner that can stop that dude. And Trent McDuffie is an all-pro player. But AJ Brown is a different type of man. Like he is a grown-ass man. That is a Titan, a Megatron, and what they like to call him. He's different. And he was just putting belt to ass to Trent McDuffie. Then, like you mentioned, the offensive line was able to get protection at times. Like that was the thing. It gave Jalen Hurts time to make throws. You had Dallas make some plays. Then defensively, I mean, you mentioned the trench work. The secondary locked in. I mean, Travis Kelce dropped some passes. Mahomes was a little bit rattled too. We talked about how Josh Allen was rattled against the Ravens in that first half. Mahomes looked rattled in this game. I mean, he was throwing dots to the floor. He was missing Kelce, threw a couple bad interceptions. This Eagles defense, from the defensive line to the linebackers to the secondary to Vic Fangio, they were all in sync. And credit to, like you mentioned, credit to Howie Roseman and Jeffrey for really putting this team together. And I think the scary part about this team is you're not going to see much turmoil going into next year. You're going to see this team draft really well. They're not going to lose a ton of pieces in the offseason. And you trust Howie Roseman to, draft well, bring in guys that can fit the scheme, that can fit the style. Vic Fangio's coming back. You're probably going to get a new coordinator with Kellen Moore. We all can agree he wasn't that great this year, so you can probably bring in somebody that could potentially replace him and still be very well. But for the Chiefs, it just felt like they weren't prepared this game. I mean, offensively, they couldn't get anything going. They really couldn't get nothing going in the run game because they were down so early, so fast. And the Eagles, Drew, you mentioned this point, how it was last show, you were like, the Chiefs are just going to get one stop. or they were going to make a play. It felt like the Eagles defense was the one that was making play after play. It was kind of like the Commanders game where it wasn't, it was fourth and outs, but it was also turnovers that really changed the events of this game where you get turnovers. Now the Eagles offense scores, then the defense comes back out. They create another turnover. They get a 3 and out. So now you're sitting there, and this Eagles offense, they take up so much clock. They take up so much time. They know how to manage a game and hold the ball for so long. The Chiefs really couldn't find a game plan that would help them in this game. Honestly, it was really a talent discrepancy between both teams. And we thought the Chiefs had the coaching staff, they had the head coach, they had the quarterback that was better in this game, but the talent on the other sides of the ball really just prevailed in this one.
It was pretty amazing watching this game. Every part of it I loved. There was actually no part of it that I didn't enjoy. I thoroughly enjoyed watching this ass beating. I want to say apologies to my sister, the one true Chiefs fan that I do know. She definitely is having a hard time right now. If you are listening, sis, sorry for the loss. Now turn off the stream. Don't watch from here on out. This was amazing. Mahomes was horrendous. He couldn't have played a worse game. But then also on top of it, we can add that, hey, I'll give him some benefit of the doubt because Mahomes is Mahomes. He usually doesn't take sacks the way that he did tonight. You give credit to the Eagles and not blitzing once in this game, but still being able to get an unbelievable amount of pressure, still an unbelievable amount of sacks. But that also allows me to understand that they were locking it down in the secondary. This game plan by Philadelphia was flawlessly executed. We already had strong concerns coming in about their run game. We thought that Mahomes would be able to prevail and overcome those deficiencies. It didn't happen. It never happened throughout the entire course of the game. Elite stat padding at the end for Patrick Mahomes. I'll give him that. That's pretty great to see. Other than that, I want to give nothing but praise to Philadelphia. The defense was all world. And if you would have told every single Chiefs fan, Joel, you hit it right in the head. You shut down Saquon Barkley. You shut him down. This was his worst game of the season. You're a Chiefs fan. You think, wow, we won the Super Bowl. Wow, we're celebrating a three-peat. But oh, wait, enter Jalen Hurts. Most rushing yards by a quarterback in a Super Bowl ever played. He was flawless today. Even that INT, you want to give Josh Allen arm punt. It was an arm punt. They didn't get any points. Who cares? Arm punt. It really didn't even matter. He was excellent today. And when it came to passing, when it came to rushing, picking up blitzes, being able to evade. Let me ask you a question. Dells, did he look fast today?
He looked quick. He was quick. He was in that.
He was quick.
Did he look athletic to you? Does he look like a Super Bowl champion to you now? Does he look like a Super Bowl MVP to you now? Is this good enough for you? Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted big game Mr. Jalen Hurts to show up? Because
listen, I told you it's big game Jalen. I started that, brother. I had no worries about that, Riv. You know what I mean?
All I told you was that in the biggest moments, Jalen Hurts would show up and you kept complaining, oh, I expect so much more from him. Oh, he's this far along. He shouldn't be this bad. He shouldn't be regressing. Oh, he's not as athletic anymore. He doesn't look as good. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a Super Bowl MVP. Don't be a fan now. Don't be a fan now because he's a Super Bowl MVP. Don't do that.
Drew, just reminder, now this is 2 games that Hurts has that clears Lamar's playoff resume.
Remember that?
2 games. Now we're here at 2. Now it's not a conversation.
Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts come playoff time. We don't talk about the two the same. No way.
No.
Are you kidding me?
No, and I'm not a fan of either. Well, you got to keep the main thing the main thing.
Now, Riv, let me ask you. You're a Super Bowl champion now. Your quarterback's a Super Bowl MVP. Yeah. Are we a fan finally?
It's nothing to say. We're here. We're here. Listen.
Would you say you're a fan now? He got the job done.
Listen,
Job's done.
Job's done. I have nothing to say. Job's done. Jalen Hurts, welcome, my brother. Job's done. Job's finished. It's funny to me. It's funny to me how, we don't like to keep the main thing the main thing. And I think we got to keep the main thing the main thing.
And what's the main thing, Riv?
The main thing is Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl champion. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He gets to celebrate for 2 to 3 months and just bask in his glory. And I get it. The team is elite. The team is a juggernaut. I will never disregard that because y'all know me. I love talking about this team. I love talking about Smitty. I love talking about Kenneth Gainwell. I love talking about all these boys. But played the Falls game back-to-back weeks. He's now played the Chiefs twice, and he's been elite both times. Lamar hasn't done it. I just want to keep pointing that out because it's funny to me. Lamar hasn't done it.
Viv, you know what else was great?
Even like
Unsung
it's
part.
just
Unsung part about all this, now there's more than one active quarterback to beat Mahomes in the playoffs. We don't have to hear about Joe Burrow anymore because the guy that actually beat him won the whole thing. And he's actually going to keep playing for years to come, too.
you know what's even funnier? Drew, you know what's even funnier? Joe Burrow may have beat Patrick Mahomes. But you know who's also beaten Mahomes and Stafford? Somebody Burrow couldn't beat? It is now officially
in the
Jalen
same
Hurts.
year. In the same year he did it. Oh
It's
my
just-
God.
And look at this guy. You think you're safe with that Mahomes jersey on, brother? You think you're safe? You are not safe, my boy.
Yeah, Rev, you know, this is getting a little bit too disrespectful to Patrick Mahomes now.
He sucked. He was dog shit.
I just
He
want
wasn't
to
good.
remind you
Yo, he was
that
so
this
dog
was not
shit.
the same tone you had for the last 2 years. He finally lost. He's human. He's like the rest of us. He has chinks in his
No,
armor.
you know what it was?
Okay,
you know what it was?
fine.
Joel, you know what it was?
What was
you know
it,
what
Rev?
it was? I'm gonna tell you what it was. The refs decided we're gonna step out this game. The refs decided, you know what? We're gonna see which team is actually better. After that first dumbass call, which was it wasn't even a real offensive pass
What about the
interference.
call on Trent McDuffie?
When AJ Brown
What about the call on Nick Bolton?
burnt his bum ass, cooked him. Oh, he hit him a little bit in the face. Pass interference. You knew it was a rig, but then the refs was like, you know what? Let's let it be fair. Let's see which team is actually better. And we saw Patrick Mahomes without the refs look like Mac fucking Jones. He was legitimately dog shit. He looked like Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Tua. You can grab whoever you want to grab. He didn't look good. And I'm sorry, Joel. I really am sorry because I didn't want to be a Patrick Mahomes hater. I really don't. I truly don't have no issue with the man. But it's just funny to me how in the biggest stage of your life, the biggest moment of your life, you have an opportunity to three-peat. You have an opportunity to walk into Tom Brady conversations. And you can't, you just couldn't show up because the refs decided they didn't want to show up.
Get rid of the pin tweet.
He's
Let that
still
go.
going to be the
It's
GOAT.
over.
And I have full belief
He's
in Patrick
never
Mahomes.
catching the GOAT.
I do believe he will. And
It's over.
Nick Foles can beat the GOAT, but Mahomes can't?
Mark
This loss
Sanchez can beat the GOAT, but Mahomes can't.
This loss was very reminiscent of the Bucs loss that they had.
It was worse.
This is let's put things into perspective. When they lost Tyreek Hill, people went as far to say they might not make the playoffs. They're not going to
Going
do
back
nothing.
to 2020.
They won, and they
are
beat an Eagles team that statistically
This
was
is how
dominant.
bad we have
And
to
he
do.
did do that last year against the Niners. Was he not an underdog? He was an underdog, and he won
Facts.
every single playoff game on the
was the
road
favorite
after
to come
beating
in when
Miami.
they
That game was
He beat
tough.
the Ravens on the road. He beat Josh Allen on the road. He won a Super Bowl. What I'm noticing from the Chiefs now, and Mahomes did not play a good game, but what I also will say, the first interception was 100% on him. The second interception, his offensive line, Joe Tooney, he got pushed into him and his entire body got hit as he was throwing it. I'm looking at this Chiefs game. You look at the Chiefs and the
No one gives a
Eagles
shit.
on four
He was dog
on four-man rushes. On four-man rushes, Mahomes was pressured 52% of the time, and Hurts was pressured 11% of the time. That's the biggest pressure discrepancy in Super Bowl history.
Get better.
I'm looking at Mahomes. I'm looking at the Chiefs. I'm not saying Mahomes played a good game at all, but I'm looking at the Chiefs and I'm saying you guys have relied on Mahomes covering up all of your weaknesses for 3 years now that you haven't invested into key areas of the team. You look at the offensive tackle play. There's a reason why I was low on the Chiefs early in the season. The offensive tackle play was horrible. The secondary was awful. We saw Jalen Watson. He got torched, and they are one of the least explosive offenses in the NFL. I'm looking at the Chiefs right now. They're heading into similar territory that they were heading into after the Tampa Bay loss, where they need to rebuild the offensive line. Joe Tooney has to slide back to left guard, but Trey Smith is a free agent, and they might not be able to retain him. So we're looking at right guard, right tackle, and left tackle as being major vulnerabilities for the Chiefs offense moving forward. I think the offense will be fine with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy healthy next year. But we're looking at the Chiefs right now. Their offensive line got dominated. And that was the story of the game. When you get as much pressure as you got on Mahomes with the 4-man rush, it's very hard to play quarterback. He got pressured almost 50% of the time.
Joel, this is not a Chiefs thing. We just that fucking good. This ain't happened with the Bills. This ain't happened with Baltimore. This ain't happened with this ain't happened nowhere else. Us, Philly, the Eagles are fucking good. This got you thinking you need to retool the whole roster. That's how good we are because we put belt to ass. That's how good we are.
Their offensive line was bad against almost every opponent. They got pressure over 40 against the Carolina Panthers. They had 5 sacks against Mahomes.
That was as bad against the Bills.
Okay, but I'm saying the Bills don't have a plethora of passers, but I'm saying the Panthers, they had 5 sacks against Mahomes earlier in the season. That's all I'm saying is that this offensive line has been vulnerable all year long. And listen, they don't got no weapons out there. Travis Kelce is not the same no more.
Mahomes has no help. You don't get to say that. You don't get to say that. You don't get to say that. No, you don't get to say that. You don't get to say that. No, you don't get to say that because you picked the motherfucking Chiefs to win the game. You did that. You knew we was elite. You knew our defensive line was like that. You knew they ain't had no wide receivers. You thought Xavier fucking Worthy was going to do something. You really believed that, man? Travis Kelce, old ass? You really thought that? You still chose him. Now, you got to suck it up and eat it, brother. You thought they was better? They wasn't better. I don't want to hear about none of that. I don't want to hear about the Carolina Panthers and what they did in week 11 or 12 or whatever the fuck that was. I don't care about all that. The moral of the story is this, brother. The Eagles came to play. The Chiefs did not. Patrick Mahomes was ass cheeks. It is okay. He will bounce back from this. I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah.
But we're not about to sit up here.
I've seen Joe Burrow have a lot of pressure, be able to overcome it. I've seen Joe Burrow get pressured 40% of the time, be able to overcome and win games. All of a sudden, Mahomes gets some pressure on him. All of a sudden, oh my God, it's the offensive line. Come on. You're Patrick fucking Mahomes. Step up.
Does it beg the question? Is Mahomes not the best quarterback in the league anymore?
He's the best quarterback in the NFL. And the more of the story, Riv, to finish your point, the more of the story is congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. Patrick Mahomes is going to be back.
We're not worried.
That's the moral of the story.
Listen, you played James Bradbury in 2022. That's why you won. You saw where he was at today with a headset on and a hoodie. He wasn't playing. That's the difference. That is the difference in this game. You went up against Vic Fangio, who done had your ass in a box, but the Denver Broncos just couldn't do shit. You went up against Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Zach Ball, Jalen Carter, but like Josh Sweat. This is a different type. These are you in 2022. You went up against some cats. These are lions. These are panthers. These are tigers. These are real life beasts that you went up against, and you shriveled under the pressure. You looked a lot like the guy you throw jokes about Tua. You look like him. That's what you look like today in a dome. You look like Jared Goff. Honest to God, that's who you really look like. You got to get better. I'm sorry. You put that jersey on and no aura's coming out of it. I hate that for you, my brother.
I put that jersey on because we're riding high in victory. We're riding high in losses. I'm still riding with Patrick Mahomes. And the truth is that the entire team got outplayed. That's the moral of the story. The offensive line got mightily outplayed. They were bullied. When you can pressure somebody with not blitzing once in the game and you have no weapons that you fear on the offensive side of the ball, where are the plays coming from? Mahomes, he had the ball. There's nobody open. I mean, give Mahomes some grace. He's accomplished so much. He means so much to the NFL. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champ. He's a 3-time Super Bowl MVP. He's a multiple-time MVP. Come on, get him. He deserves to have a bad game. Give him the grace.
Joel,
he can have a bad game.
Let me get this straight. My Eagles didn't own your Chiefs. We didn't own your Packers in week 1 and in the first round of the playoffs. We didn't own your Bengals, which I don't even know why you still care about them because they're not good, but we own them too. So that's 3 of your teams we own this year.
Joel, let me also ask you a question. Brady ever have a game this bad ever in his career?
In a playoffs?
In a big game like this?
I'd have to look for it.
In a big game like in a Super Bowl?
Well, 2010 Jets in the divisional round when he got upset by an underdog on the road by Mark Sanchez. He lost to Mark Sanchez.
In a Super Bowl, he's never looked like this.
What's worse, losing to Mark Sanchez and Nick Foles or Jalen Hurts?
No,
You,
the Jets
you,
team was
let's
at least
ask you
somewhat
that. You
competitive.
answer that.
It's losing to
You answer
Martinez
that.
and Nick Foles.
This
That's
game was
worse.
over by fucking halftime, brother.
Whoa, Tom Brady threw for 505 yards against Nick Foles. Calm down.
It's the
Dallas,
second highest EPA ever, man.
You're being so nice. This game was over at the end of the first quarter. The score wasn't 40-22. It was
Can I
like
also
40
ask
to
you a
10.
question? Joel, let me ask you a question. I still support mid.
Oh,
Do I still support mid? Let me ask you a question.
well, technically,
For the
yes.
for the most part.
Do I support mid?
For the most part, yeah.
Oh, but
It's getting better though. You're adding some new. It's like you've had a draft where you retooled your roster, but the roster was rebuilding.
so
But
it
it's
looks like
better.
I rebuilt overnight because I got a Super Bowl MVP.
Mm.
I got a young franchise QB in my dog Bo Nix.
I thought it was
and
Bryce
shout out
Young.
to a $50 million man. Shit me.
Joel, it's
Come on,
like
You came a
I
long way a
support
year from
man.
now.
And
Yeah,
Bryce
you came a
Young
long way.
too. Can't forget
Yes.
Bryce Young. He's on the roster.
Yes.
He's a project still. We still up,
On the
and,
roster,
we still
sure.
up and on the way. That being said, I support mid Super Bowl MVP.
All this means
Super Bowl 59
Riv,
MVP. Talk
What
to me.
all this
You saying
means,
we-
Riv, is the
we
No.
run the NFC. Simple.
what the Eagles did to the Chiefs. It just makes Jordan Love's performance look much better. With no receivers out there,
Jordan Love was
playing
going
through
to-
injury. You know,
Well,
but
bro,
look
you
at the
just told
defense
me
he was
Mahomes had
playing.
no one. So now Mahomes has people now?
He had more than Jordan Love had to work with. Yes.
Jordan Love was fucking garbage.
He
I
was
don't know
so
why
Let me
bad.
he's
ask you a
like.
question. Guys, did Jordan Love have 3 all-pro players on his offensive line?
Not to
No.
my
I think
knowledge.
so.
No, not to mine either. Did Jordan Love have what I'm sorry.
Travis
Andy
Kelce?
Reid? Andy
Oh.
Reid as
It's
his
just
play caller?
crazy. It's just crazy that we live in a world where 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions,
Oh my
95.4
God.
passer
Oh
rating
my
is the
God.
bad game.
That's
Oh,
insane.
that's the bad game.
No, no, no,
Wow.
guys,
Look
no,
at
he
the
is
numbers.
GOAT.
Numbers
He's
don't
the
lie.
GOAT. No, he's the GOAT of stat padding.
Fucking Luka
he's
guy,
the GOAT
man.
of stat padding. That's
Don't
what
ever
he
call
is.
him Dak Prescott.
Luka
Stop.
guy,
Who
man.
called him Dak? Because
You.
you said it.
Who
You
called
said
him
the
Dak?
king of stat padding.
Call him Dak.
That's not Dak. That's Dak. That's
Yeah,
not
you're a
Mahomes.
Dak guy.
Stat
You're a
padding
Dak
is
guy.
stat
You're
not
a
a
Dak
Dak
guy.
guy. Stop
You're a Dak
backing
guy.
that, Riz.
You're a Dak guy. You're a Dak
Bro,
guy.
being
Now
a
you're
Dak
disrespecting
guy
Dak.
in 2025.
Even if those touchdowns were garbage time, what you want him to do? Not play football out there? He's trying to will his team back to victory. And did you see the
Do you
throw
think?
to Xavier Worthy? On the move, touchdown,
Yo, no lie,
sidearm.
I swear to God.
They were
Yo,
doing
did you see
They're
the
dirty.
throw to
amazing
Travis
throws.
Kelsey's foot?
They're amazing throws.
No.
They were doing
I'm not
dirty, bro.
exaggerating
Kelsey
when
shoulda
I
caught
say
it.
this. That throw to Xavier Worthy was the best throw he's had in years. It
That's
was the best
adorable.
throw he's had in years.
Yo, did you see
The
the throw
Chiefs-
to Travis Kelsey's foot? It was dope. I saw
The
it. That
Chiefs
was
have
amazing.
to get rid of Matt Nagy. Ever since he's come back to the Chiefs, Mahomes' numbers have not been MVP like. That's all I'm gonna say. Matt Nagy needs to go. He's holding back Mahomes.
Didn't he win Super Bowl MVP with Matt Nagy, or was that last year with Eric Bieniemy?
Well, no, Matt Nagy's been on the team for 2 years now.
Oh,
No,
so
he did win.
2022. That's when they moved
Two
on.
Super
from
Bowl
Bieniemy.
appearances.
Yeah, but I'm just
One
saying in
win.
the regular season, Mahomes' stats the last 2 years, they haven't been what I expect out of Mahomes. And I feel like it's mostly because of Matt Nagy being there.
So
honestly.
he won a Super Bowl, lost, and you're like, yeah, Matt Nagy's the issue.
Matt Nagy, the quarterback coach, right? He's the problem.
He's the
Not the
offensive coordinator,
quarterback.
Dallas.
Oh, OC. Okay.
Yes.
So wait. So Matt Nagy, not the guy that was throwing ducks at people's floor. That's
I'm
not
just
the problem.
I'm just
here.
talking about the last 2 seasons, and I feel like Mahomes needs Eric Bieniemy back. That he was putting us some MVP numbers with Bieniemy. Get
Hey,
him back in
Joel.
the building.
Joel, did you see the throw to Cooper DeJean? That was dope if they were on the same team.
No,
That
he
throw-
never
that
did.
throw
It was a Jordan Love s throw. It was Jordan Love versus San Fran.
That-
Jordan
that-
Love s.
Joel has a type.
He does. Guys who throw interceptions.
Listen, Mahomes lost the battle, but he's gonna win the war. He's
The
accomplished
season's
so much.
over, brother. The war is over,
The
This
war is
a-
won.
It's a multiple year thing,
By
baby.
Jalen Hurts.
Don't worry, about
brother.
it.
The
You know how
handsome one.
you know the age. You know the average age in our defense is 25 years old.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about that because you look at the Eagles, and I think they have some notable free agents, but for the most part, they have most of their main roster intact. But it's Josh Sweat, Zach Bond, Mekhi Becton, and Milton Williams.
Zach
Those
Bond, Howie Roseman said he is number one priority to come back.
Of course, so I think he's going to come back. I think they're probably going to lose one of Milton Williams
Yep.
and Josh Sweat. You can also afford to lose Mekhi. I don't think he's like that big of like a needle mover for the team, but they might lose one major defensive piece, but it really doesn't matter. And this is where I want to just praise the Eagles because this is one of the best rosters that I've seen in my life. Like this roster is stacked top to bottom. And we've always said, like, in order for them to lose, it's going to take something bad to happen to them, really, like just playing out of their element. But look at 2024 Harry Roseman, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalix Hunt, Will Shipley, who's the backup running back who's played well when he's played. Then last year, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Tyler Steen, who's young offensive lineman who could take Mekhi Becton's place if Mekhi Becton goes elsewhere. Moro Jomo was a 7th round pick.
He's
then you look
solid.
at 2022. Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens, Nakobe Dean, 2021, Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, Milton Williams. I mean, he is on a heater with his drafts. He is finding starter Pro Bowl caliber players in every draft. And I'm talking about multiple, at least 2 to 3 players in every draft in the last 3 to 4 years are that good. And it makes a big difference, and it helps out in free agency when you need to pay one of these guys, but you have the utmost confidence that somebody's going to step up in their place because of how well he's drafted. So, this roster is not possible without Howie Roseman. And also give shout to Nick Sirianni. We always talk about how maybe he doesn't deserve all his credit, but he has the second most wins all time by a head coach in the first 4 seasons. He's 6-3 in the playoffs. He's won a Super Bowl. And he learned from his mistakes last year, hiring the wrong coordinators. He brought the right people into the building, and they won a Super Bowl. And this is one of the most dominant seasons that we've seen in history, especially this Super Bowl performance and the NFC Championship game. So, it's a team game, and they all deserve credit. And this unit was made possible because of so many different layers that this team has.
Riv, as a non-Eagles fan, there's every part of me that loves that Saquon Barkley didn't have the best game. It shows how much better the team is beyond just Saquon Barkley. It was a lot of conversation about, he has Saquon Barkley. He has the best offensive player in the league. Oh, that's why Jalen Hurts has been so amazing. I think that's why I love this game so much. This Eagles performance showed that they are much bigger than just Saquon Barkley. There is an unbelievable, overwhelming amount of talent on both sides of the ball. But the fact that their run game got taken away, and that was a huge question on Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. What happens if you take away the run game from the Philadelphia Eagles? What happens if you take away Saquon Barkley? They asked that question in 22. They asked that question again this year, and now you have a completely different result. Completely, I say, because Jalen Hurts balled the first time, but second time around, he balled, but now is celebrating a championship. It's just a certain level of respect that needs to be put on his name.
Yeah, it's crazy because I want to give shout out to the Chiefs' run defense. Like they pretty much put Saquon in the box. They were doing their thing, and it's kind of the script that we all kind of knew. If it did happen, it would be like that's how they win the game. Like Saquon get boxed up, Hurts then has to play great for them to really win this game, and he played great along with the defense playing at a like. I wish I'm not saying Jalen Hurts doesn't deserve Super Bowl MVP, but we could give it to the defense in totality. I would have gave it to them too because they really set the tone for this game, and then Jalen Hurts did his thing. Like Saquon getting boxed up, it really did show that this passing offense can get it going. I know it's had its struggles all year to kind of find that rhythm, but how poetic is it that they found the rhythm in the 2 most important games of their season, NFC Championship game against some weak ass Commanders, and then of course the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I feel like it works all in unison. And I don't know if you're going to speak to that, Dels, but like you look at the matchups that the Eagles had offensively in the trenches and then on the outside. Like, what did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great sign for Kellen Moore. I know the reports are he wants to go to the New Orleans Saints, and
No, they signed him.
You get a head coaching position. I understand why you want to run and take it, but if I'm Kellen Moore, why wouldn't I want to stop with Philadelphia or stay with Philadelphia and run this back? This past game, I mean, the whole season, really the second half of the year, post-bye week, when they really went more run heavy, and they were even talking about in the game just cutting down some of the passing, that was a majority of the season was relied on Saquon Barkley. The fact that they were able to switch that in this game, I know Saquon still got a bunch of looks, right? Like he still had 15 plus touches, but the fact that they were able to have this pass game just ready to go, because like you just mentioned, Riv, this was not a passing attack that for a majority of the season that you could just say, okay, we have to rely on you guys now, and you could take us home. A majority of this was relying on the defense, relying on Saquon Barkley. So it was a great sign for Kellen Moore to be able to have his plays that work. Obviously, they were super prepared for this game as well. And I don't know why he's going out of his way to go and sign a deal with New Orleans Saints, who are in cap hell, and you have Derek Carr and an aging roster. and really not a lot of future or current assets on the team. But if he does move on, Nick Sirianni is going to have to hit on offensive coordinator again, because we have seen, right, 2 of the last 3 seasons, he's had either average to above average offensive play calling, and Kellen Moore, who I think was about average, if you want to say below, whatever, but about average. And of course, you had a couple years ago, Shane Steichen, who was phenomenal, right? One of the best play callers in the league in 2022. But then between, he missed on Brian Johnson. And we saw how bad things could get if you don't have a play caller who knows how to use all of his weapons properly. I mean, I couldn't imagine if Brian Johnson was the offensive coordinator in this game, how much the Eagles struggled last year picking up blitzes. They lost in the first round to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they had no answer to any sort of blitz scheme that Todd Bowles was throwing at them. So I think it's a great sign if you're an Eagles fan. Of course, if Kellen Moore is able to stay, that he had protection plans and he had checks that Jalen Hurts can go to. And Jalen Hurts also had that power of the line of scrimmage. We saw in that first quarter, he had some sort of hot route to A.J. Brown that they threw the back shoulder on. That was an audible at the line of scrimmage. Jalen Hurts recognized the blitz. He changed A.J. Brown's route, and he was able to pick up, a 20-yard gain down the field. That might have been the offensive pass interference call. But the fact that he had that much control over the offense is a great sign. It's going to be 4 years now that Hurts is going to have a different play caller. So he doesn't really had that stability. And you're also pretty late into the offseason now, too, that like the best offensive coordinator candidates aren't available. But shit, man, you just won a Super Bowl. You can deal with that when you have to.
Yeah, what I was mentioning with the working in unison thing is that the Eagles' offensive line against 4-man rush has only allowed 11% pressure rate. Hurts had a clean pocket the entire time. That's credit to the offensive line. And the passing game was mostly our guys are just better than your guys. How many A.J. Brown catches were one-on-ones with Trent McDuffie? I'm just going to throw it up, and I'm going to trust that you're going to beat him. Devontae Smith having that touchdown against Jalen Watson. They were just much better on the outside. And I think the A.J. Brown matchup was very tough for McDuffie because McDuffie is an elite corner, but he's on the skinnier side. And against somebody like A.J. Brown who can physically overpower you, it's very tough. And the Chiefs learned very quickly in this game that they couldn't play a ton of man coverage because their corners couldn't hold up against them. And they had to, it was a must for them to send blitzes and leave their players on islands because they couldn't generate pressure any other way. So this was a complete domination from the Eagles top to bottom, both offensively and defensively. But defensively, I really thought this was a historic performance from the Eagles defense. Like one of the best performances that I've seen.
Did you see the Smitty bomb? That was such a beautiful ball. Just phew.
God forbid he called it against Commanders, man.
Don't get me started.
Unfortunately, the best defensive performance I've ever seen in a Super Bowl was the Seahawks versus the number 1 offense in the
they fucked you guys right in the anal.
No, it was bad. It got X-rated so fast. Game was over before it even started. That being said, trolling aside, this was a pretty clear image of why it's damn near impossible to three-peat in the National Football League, because you have teams making minor adjustments year in, year out. Meanwhile, you are still at the mountaintop and you're trying to make these minor adjustments while you're trying to retain your best players, but understanding we have our franchise quarterback, although the deal is still pretty great. You're trying to make these move in the margins that are trying to get you up there, but now we have to lose L'Jarius Sneed. Now we have to lose these key pieces to our offense. We had to get rid of Tyreek Hill, and it worked out in the first couple of years. It worked out, but now that you need these other guys, you need that big body presence on the outside. You need another wide receiver. You need more talent on the offensive side. You need a run game. You need a left tackle. It's a lot of credit for them to even get to this point. Again, hating aside, it's incredible that they were able to make it this far. But they showed, especially the Philadelphia Eagles, they showed that in this game, they were just the drastically better team and the more talented team on all aspects of the game.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how KC is going to build their team this offseason, because when they lost Tyreek Hill, it was a major loss, but they still had the number 1 offense in the NFL the very next year. The last 2 seasons, the Chiefs have not been a top 10 offense. This has been one of the least enthusiastic offenses that we're seeing from a game-to-game basis. And Mahomes, we always talk about it that, he's the best quarterback in the game, but he's not having the best season. He's not even having a top 5 season. And that's been the case for the last 2 years. So I'm curious to see how they're going to build this roster around him to just make the offense better. And suit better to his strengths because right now it just looks too difficult. It feels like he has to play perfect in order for them to generate offense.
Now back to me hating. I can't wait for the NFL 100. I wonder where they're going to have Mahomes because he wasn't great in the regular season. He did make it to the Super Bowl. He is still Patrick Mahomes, but last year he won the Super Bowl, didn't have a great regular season, was number 4 if I'm not mistaken. Are they going to drop him out of the top 10?
It's impossible to drop him out the top 10.
That's top 10.
I don't think he'll be top 5 though. I don't. I think they'll drop him out. I think he won't be top 5.
How many quarterbacks are going to be over him?
3, maybe 2.
Maybe
Definitely
just
2.
Lamar. I think just Lamar probably.
I think
Josh
Josh.
won
I think
MVP.
Josh maybe too.
Yeah, but this is like a players vote thing, and players
Facts.
voted on Josh Allen being the most overrated quarterback in the league last year. So
Where was he ranked in the NFL 100 last year?
He was top 10. I'm like 90% sure. Let's see.
while you do that, I'm gonna get to these super chats. Ishmael goes Eagles fan here. Hey, that Riv graphic for next pod. Gotta do it now. Laughing my tail off.
On Black History Month, Philly got all the real niggas too. So this was
Fugly
for us.
Gang DB goes, who's gonna beat Mahomes? Lamar, Allen, Burrow? No, it's Jalen Hurts. Put your
handsome
lips
one.
on his tip, all of y'all. Me too, because I low-key didn't expect this.
Who's all of y'all? Better not
No,
be talking about me.
it's crazy because after that Bills game, we were really like Carson. Everyone's up here talking like, "Oh my God, the Chiefs." Joel's over here slurping them. The Chiefs dynasty. They're never gonna lose. And the next game, they got fucking boat raced.
We were here, Dels.
It's fucking crazy.
Never left, man.
Who? Dells?
Been
No,
here.
I'm talking about me. I wasn't talking
Oh,
about
yeah. You
I
never
picked
did.
him to win the Super Bowl. I don't know about you.
Okay.
Jeremy early
Jalen
goes.
Hurts was 15. Josh Allen was 12. That was last year. Mahomes was 4. Lamar was 2.
Josh should be top 10.
Jeremy early goes. Joel, what happened to your boy? He pooped down his leg.
He's shit, brother. You can say the curse word.
I don't want to.
He said,
Doodling shit all over his
I
leg.
got a lot of respect for Mahomes to curse at him. You should too. Alberto goes 22-40, belt to butt, Mahomie. Alberto also went. Mahomes is the Nicholas Batum of the NFL.
That's
yeah,
mad disrespectful.
I love this. This is going to be the best time of my life.
Skylar Samuels goes, I don't care what anyone say. This game was a 12-40 win. I don't
Yes.
care about those trash time points
40-6.
when starters were out.
Really was like 40 to 6.
It was
Yeah.
40-6.
I mean, look at the
40
final
to 6
score.
is crazy.
22
We really
22
fucked y'all.
22-40. Cooper DeJean pick 6. Really 22.
Peyton Manning got his
to
What do you mean,
33.
really 22? That was Mahomes who threw it.
This was like Ray J and Kim K.
This was
Did
really
you,
43-8 part 2. We needed it. Mahomes and Peyton, we're back.
You know,
We're
people say
back.
that the referees are on the Chiefs' body so much.
It
but
wasn't
when,
today.
When he fumbled, when he got hit in his helmet, they didn't call nothing. You know,
They
they
gave
didn't
him the flag.
They didn't retain the ball though. That's what should have
Oh.
happened. They should have retained the ball. It was a dirty hit.
He's gotten
and
15 calls that go the other way. I think
No,
if
that
you know
hit
one
was.
to go
I was
against him, it's
scared.
okay.
I was
State
scared
your
for him.
source.
That hit was nuts. I was
My source
genuinely
is all
scared
these
for him.
damn games I've watched.
Skylar Samuels goes, also, the only one that gave Hurts respect all year was Drew. Joel, Dells, and Riv owe that man an apology. The disrespect all year was insane.
I apologize.
Now, I
Yeah,
really
I
can't
love Jalen
believe,
Hurts.
actually, upon thinking about it, you giving Dell's love before me. I won't say it hurts, but it most definitely stings. You
No,
gave
no.
Dell's love before me. That
No,
was
no.
crazy.
He
First
picked the
of all-
Bengals, man.
First of all, I explained this already. Dels
No, I understand what he did, and I give him respect and
and
acknowledgement.
and Drew, I begged you. I was on my knees. I
He
asked
did beg
you.
He said,
I
"Drew,
asked
we're
you.
here."
The
And
Drew
you looked him in
curse
the eyes
is
and
real. If I
said,
would have
"We're
picked the
not."
Eagles, they would have lost. I'm
Drew,
not mad.
Drew.
He did.
I'm gonna be,
He did
Drew,
beg you.
I
I'm
begged you.
happy.
Drew, your
happy.
curse cannot save what was gonna happen to these
I don't
boys.
know. I've done some terrible
No.
things. This curse is fucking wicked.
I begged you. I looked you in your face and I was on my knees.
Bro, I did you a favor by not taking them.
Nah, you did me a favor. You left me. You fucked me.
And
Bro.
then I was here to pick Riv up.
You're a slut.
Like the brother I
honestly.
am.
No,
Like the ally I am.
there's actually nothing you did that
Oh,
was
and Drew,
lit.
Drew, on Black History Month, you as my brother was supposed to walk with me. You didn't
As your
walk with me.
brother, I did you a solid by staying
Nope.
strong in solidarity.
You didn't. Nope.
Trust.
You didn't
Crazy,
walk
You're
with me.
not seeing the bigger
You
picture.
walked with Mahomes. You didn't walk with Hurts,
No,
AJ,
bro,
Smitty. You
no.
didn't walk with
No,
them.
it
He
was
walked with
Jalen
bigger
Mahomes. He
Carter.
walked with
things.
Kelsey. He walked with
You walked
Karlaftis.
with Taylor Swift. You didn't walk with Gilly. You ain't walk with us.
Now
You
this
should.
the year-long jinx gets thrown away because I didn't want to abandon the jinx.
I think,
Should-
unfortunately, although Drew has been on the Hurts train all year long, when we were doing the Super Bowl preview and we were talking about it, it seemed like every reasoning that you were giving was like you should have picked the Eagles.
I know, but
Defense
in
plays well, Hurts
solidarity-
plays well, Saquon plays well. The Chiefs still win.
I
So
know.
no,
Yeah,
I understand.
listen, I had to do what I had to do for the
Stop putting that
Eagles.
hand up, man.
So I can understand Riff being upset because he was begging you. He was damn near on his knees,
Riv,
looking
if
you.
I pick the Eagles and they
square and
lose,
center.
you hate me now. And
I don't.
I'd rather this.
We're back to hating Dells.
I'd rather you be happy and celebrate a championship and think that I betrayed you than the opposite.
You can't be upset. You can't be upset that I ain't
No, I
acknowledged it.
can be because this fucking disgusting prick has
He is a
shit-talked
disgusting.
the
No,
Eagles
he
all
is.
season long,
He is
and
a
he
disgusting
shit-talked
prick.
Jalen Hurts.
He is
And
a
the
disgusting.
first thing you do is say, "Yes, great job, Dells." That's what has
Because-
me sick. He's
because-
useless.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, in the biggest moment of our season,
Where
in the
was that,
biggest moment
Where
of the
was that?
year, where was he and where was you?
Where
was
Where
that,
was he
Riv?
and where was you? I agree
Oh
with
my
you.
God.
He's a slut. He's a disgusting prick of a man. He's not a good person. I agree with you. But when it was time to pick a side, he picked and you said, I'm gonna go with my
I
Dow.
had
I
to
begged
do
you.
the right
I didn't have
thing
to
for
beg
the
him.
bigger
Drew, you talked the
picture.
talk. You didn't walk the walk, brother. Come on.
We should have a poll on the Twitter.
We should.
Is who's the Eagles guy? Drew for defending Hurts all season and picking the Chiefs, or Dells for having his doubts but picking the Eagles in the final game of the year?
Pull
I
that
think that's
up.
a good poll.
Pull that up.
I think it's fair. Drew has the longevity advantage, and then Dells, this is like his peak moment. This is peak. All the chips are on the line.
I was there, man.
Alberto goes, Mahomes read Joel's tweets and gave up on football. Hey, listen, I was hoping he read my halftime tweets to give him some
Bro
support.
kept saying, watch this. What we were watching?
He did say watch this 3 different
He said
times.
it 20 times, bro.
Jay Clark goes, Rev doesn't deserve this. Also, Lamar and Josh still clear Hurts. Please do not overrate him for winning with the easiest quarterback job in the NFL.
Hey, Jay Clark, fuck you.
So where's Hurts rank right now?
He's top 5. Shit me? Super Bowl
Drew's back.
MVP. He's top 5.
Drew
Fuck
might be
Justin
back.
Herbert. Fuck Jaden Daniels. Fuck
Drew's back.
I'll never say Matthew Stafford. Love you, go.
Drew's back. He's
Top
back.
5. Stupid motherfucker. Stop playing with him. You doubted him. You stupid fuck. You four-eyed piece of shit.
He's anywhere like 5 to 8 for me.
It's
Shut
really
the hell
fuck
up.
Herbert.
You don't
It's really
care.
fuck
5 to
Justin
8
Herbert,
Herbert.
bro.
Anywhere.
This is about Riv and Jalen Hurts.
It's really fuck Justin
Joel,
Herbert.
where would you have him?
And fuck Jaden Daniels. Like, fuck him, respectfully.
I got to sleep on
It's
it.
my birthday twin.
Gotta
I
sleep
still
on
got
it?
love for him.
Pick a side, bro.
I don't want to say anything too premature. The emotions are at an all-time high with the win right now. I just
Joel,
don't want to speak.
matter of fact, Joel, Dells, Drew on the spot. Drew, I get it. He's your birthday twin. Pick a side. Jaden and Jalen right now.
Hurts. Jalen
All right.
Hurts. Come
Fuck
on.
you, like,
Come on.
yeah. All right, let's do it. Fuck, I'm sorry, that got to end. That birthday shit got to
I got
end.
a dead my birthday twin?
We don't. He's on the Commanders. This is different.
All right, I'm a Super Bowl MVP. I support
All right.
MVP.
We don't support quarterbacks from other teams, man.
Hey,
in the division,
valid.
no.
Valid.
So
Fucking
Muhammad Thiem goes, Mahomes has a better team in coaching, but
Wallahi.
Wallahi,
Wallahi.
not a bone in my body. Think he better than JA17. He's not as talented. Shout out to Riv. Go Bills, Eagles fly. Cam Cobain goes, best part of Super Bowl was Kendrick.
No, the fuck it was. That shit was
That
terrible.
shit was whack.
That shit was
It was
awful.
so mid.
That
Bro
was
didn't,
so good.
Bro didn't give us bitch don't kill my vibe. He didn't give us all right. Didn't give us swimming pools. Didn't give us money trees. Didn't give us good kid Mad City. He played us.
He didn't play me. I knew he was be butt. Keep that brother on the West Coast. We don't need him over here, respectfully.
Red Hood goes, this is why I wanted the Ravens to follow the Eagles' lead with the roster. But whatever Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback, Lamar is better than Mahomes. I'm glad Jalen exposed him. He always gets lucky, fake GOAT.
Oh my God, I love this comment.
He really is just a winning merchant. That's all he does. Just wins.
Muhammad goes, defense, I'm tripping. Cut the crap, Joel.
He's handsome.
Elijah Woody Harrelson goes, shout out to the Eagles and Hurts from a Packers fan.
Real.
Oh, fuck you.
Whoa, he's real.
I ain't jacking the Packers, man.
It's
That's why he's saying, yo, as a Packers fan, respect to the Eagles. No?
Mahomes era is over. Lamar era starts now.
Who?
What?
Fuck with that.
Who?
Fuck with that.
Yo,
Booty Liquor
that
2000.
donation sucks.
Mahomes will never be over Brady. Mahomes this game had 2 interceptions. Kenny Pickett has 0. Hide you, Lakers Nation, brother.
Yo, you know how crazy it is for Kenny Pickett to come into this game? That's embarrassing.
You know how bad you have to be kicking another team's ass
That's
to enter the
embarrassing,
Super
Kenny.
Bowl?
Yo, I cannot wait.
Ken.
I can't wait to see Nick Wright speak tomorrow. Oh my
That's
God.
gonna be lit. That's a W.
Because he's a Chiefs fan, I can't wait.
Red Hood goes, P.S. Lamar played better against this team. Joe played better. Russ played better. Just saying.
I was in the
And
regular
that's
season,
not saying
bro.
anything because Joe played like shit. Russ, did he?
And Lamar didn't play that well either.
Snipes goes, Joel Cena Boston chip and Mahomes 15 stinker.
Yeah. A Celtics chip and an Eagles chip back to back. It's a tough look.
It's not been a great year.
I mean, Lakers chip on the way.
Alberto goes, yeah, you still riding Mahomes all right. Curtis Smith goes, stop Joel before I waste my money on super chat. Red Hood goes, can we stop with these double standards BS? You know damn well if that was Lamar Jackson, Jalen, or Joe, you wouldn't be making these excuses. Take the L dynasty over.
You heard him. Dynasty over.
It's over. Mahomes never win again.
Goes, my sports year has been great. Celtics chip, Josh MVP, and Hurts / Saquon chip.
W.
Josh MVP Eagles chip. This is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. I got everything I need.
Landon Hayes goes, this was Patrick's 2011 LeBron. The peak has just begun. Prepare for a demon.
This is what scares me. I'm not
I like this.
I get scared.
He's had 2 2011 LeBrons already. I don't know about that. Fuck.
His game against the Bucks wasn't bad. He had a lot
Of course it
passes.
wasn't.
He was great. I mean, he was Superman
Great?
out there. He was
great.
Superman. Look,
They lost by 40.
Look at
gotta
how
get
many
off.
drops he had.
How are you
get
Superman and you lose by 40? Superman has never in his life lost to anybody by 40.
Because you could be Superman, but you're playing the Avengers, and you don't got no
Superman's-
backup.
Superman still wouldn't lose by 40 to no fucking Avengers.
No, I think so. You might be surprised. Scholar Samuels goes 4-man pressure for 60 minutes without blitzing. 31 teams can't do that. 6 sacks, by the way. Defense was great, but they didn't score 40 points. I better not hear Hurts in a bottom 15 talk again.
Yeah, bottom 15. You agreed to that, Dells.
Regular
You
season, this brother was
agreed to
bottom
that.
15. I'm not going to lie.
You agreed. You said, yeah, you're right. He's bottom 15. He's bottom 10. You have some fucking nerve. You really have some fucking nerve. Bottom 10, and you're sitting here calling yourself a Jalen Hurts fan. I have a vein in my forehead popping out. You're triggering me this fucking much. I'm
Sorry.
so happy this happened. You were
I'm
supposed to
sorry.
be the Hurts guy. You can't even celebrate this.
I could celebrate it. You didn't pick them, so I don't really care about what you got to say.
I did him a
'cause
favor.
if you believe Jalen Hurts this much, brother, you should have think they were going to win by 50. If you
Hey,
think he
I
was that
believe
damn
in Jalen
good.
Hurts in 22.
Again,
He
Drew,
was
I
amazing.
respect it. You
He
can
still
talk the talk,
lost.
brother. You cannot walk the walk with me.
Yeah,
Talk the
the
talk,
hell.
you cannot walk the walk.
Yeah,
You
Dells
didn't
is
pick them,
insane.
Drew. You didn't
Rib,
pick
like,
them.
Talk to that
He
nigga.
did nothing.
them.
He did
didn't
nothing.
pick them. I
You
don't
know what he
care.
even
You didn't
did?
pick them.
He did a class project. He wrote his name on it and
Hey.
got
You
an
didn't pick
A.
them.
Sound like
You
me
didn't
in high
pick
school.
them.
I
It's a
did him
shame.
a favor.
It's a
I did
shame.
him a favor.
You
The
rode
Drew
all
James-
this
the
way
Drew
and
curse
turned your
was
back.
Real.
It's a
If I picked
shame.
the
I feel
Chiefs,
bad for you because you
Why?
rode through the hardest part, and then the best part, you're not here. Where's Drew? Riv?
He just
Where is
nutted
he?
too quick.
Where is he?
Just what?
I had to do what I had to do
Bro.
for the betterment of the agenda.
Damn.
I
He
had
wrote
to
it.
do.
He wrote
I know
it.
the power that my curse holds.
He
It's a
couldn't get
shame,
to the
man.
climax, and he just bust too fast. He didn't get to the.
What do you
know?
think? What do you think, Dallas? I mean, he did pick the Chiefs, but he also did say Hurts was going to play great.
That's what I don't get because if he was going to play so great, how do they lose?
He should've said, "Fuck that Val."
But this team was so much better. You
2022.
knew that.
But Mahomes is still Mahomes. The Bills were better than the Chiefs.
Ah,
The
yeah.
Ravens last year were better than the Chiefs.
Ravens, maybe. Yeah.
K2 goes, congrats, Riv. I had Philly winning the bowl this year. Shout out Howie and please respect Poppy Hurts. Now the
got
job
you.
is done.
I got you, K2. I got you.
Des Brown goes, Butts beats Love and Mahomes in a run to the bowl.
Who the hell is
Hurts.
Butts?
He meant
Oh.
to say Hurts.
Probably, yeah. Jay Clark goes, don't worry about Drew kicking you out the Hurts fan base, Dels. Lamar fan club is where you truly belong, brother.
Yeah,
I
you
love both
picked a
of them.
side on a loser. That
Oh,
fucking
shit.
sucks.
This is like when Jalen Brown won Finals MVP over Tatum. I'm okay with that. I'm cool. I love
You call
both of them.
Jalen Hurts a bottom 10
I love
quarterback.
both of them.
You call them bottom 10.
Bottom 15. Regular season, there was bottom 15 quarterback. Postseason, he stepped up, like I said he would.
No, you didn't.
Like I said,
you did
Like I said
say
he
that.
would. Riv, what I say going into the Super Bowl? I say he's a big time quarterback. He's gonna step up. What I say, Riv?
That was hilarious.
Lying to save face.
Des Brown goes, my goat Hurts beat Love and Mahomes. Tough Mr. Moran.
He loved it, not an accomplishment. I'll be
And he
honest.
beat Stafford, who I've always been a big fan
Rob
of.
Purdy
so.
beat Jordan Love.
Shit not hard to do. You got niggas doing this. Like, it's not, you know.
You're gonna regret what you're talking about right now. You're gonna regret
Who,
this
Jordan Love?
stuff. Yeah, trust me.
Regret Jordan Love? Come on.
Sinclair goes, there is no longer a gap between Mahomes and the rest of the big four, Allen, Burrow, and Lamar, and has been gone since 2023.
He still owns the AFC. So
No, there's still a gap. There's still a
he
gap.
still owns the AFC.
Skylar Samuels goes, Riv, you hated on Hurts all day too, King. You ain't off the chain, bro.
You really
I
did hate on Hurts.
I wouldn't say I hate. I didn't hate it. I just never was a fan. That was hated.
When he threw that INT, underthrown, sigh.
Riv,
I
bro,
was, brother,
we're
I
supposed
was
to be here
pissed
together.
as fuck when he threw that INT because we was moving, man. But now I wouldn't say I hated. I think Joel's hated, not me.
Mary
Goals
goes,
hated.
is it crazy to say that the Packers was you guys' hardest game in the playoffs?
The Rams.
No, not. I mean, I think the Packers game was just ugly as hell. That's what it was.
The Rams was easily the hardest game. You almost lost. Shout out to Jalen Carter.
But we controlled that game too.
But they had a chance to win the game with the last drive.
That's true.
They were on the 10-yard line.
No, that's true.
Packers
They came
game
back late.
Kind of was like it
It
was,
was
a little bit.
It was a nasty one.
Yeah.
Packers game was a nasty one.
Alberto goes, Joel is an elimination game clay.
Shit. Oh my
Heartbroken.
God.
K Films, no super chat. Maybe he has a comment. Maybe we can search for that. Gerard goes, love you guys. Wish you guys posted more on Blue Sky. X is a hellhole. Vic Fangio deserves Super Bowl MVP.
I'm really
That
happy for my coach.
Listen,
was Blue Sky.
if a coach could win the award, I think he deserved it. I think Hurts deserved it too. There wasn't a standout player defensively alone that I feel like deserves Super Bowl MVP, but
Josh
like
Sweat was okay.
collectively, he was great. Collectively, I thought they were the MVP of the game, though.
The defense.
Yes, but it was like Josh Sweat. Like I don't know if I can justify saying Josh Sweat
Nah.
was better than Hurts. You know,
Collectively, they shut down.
Jamarcus Monroe goes, Jalen stops the three-peat. The story writes itself for his legacy.
Gangster.
Oh, I love him. I love him.
Yeah,
My heart, my soul. What he's done for me, I'll never be able to repay him.
Booty Liquor 2000 goes, Mahomes lost his three-peat chance in Luca. Boo-hoo.
Nah, I'm
kinda
really up. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP. Pat Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year. Luka Doncic plays for the Lakers tomorrow night.
Saquon.
Mahomes disaster class.
Saquon, OPOY. Josh, MVP.
Oh.
Eagles, Super Bowl MVP.
Oh.
We are lit. And then look, SGA's gonna win MVP. And I can't wait, man.
Yeah, Joel, what do you have?
Yeah, what
I
you got?
got Lamar second place MVP. I got
Loser.
Hurts Super Bowl. I got
Boston Celtics,
I got
second
Celtics
seed.
Finals.
Second
I got
seed
Mets
Boston
NLCS.
Celtics.
There's no way you just said Celtics finals, brother. That was 2024. We're talking about 25.
I got Celtics back to back.
Second
Oh my
seed
God.
loser. Second seed right
Beat the
now.
Cavs.
Yeah. there
Smoke
you
the
go.
Knicks. Smoke Joel's Knicks. I know he saw that. Dame put a 40 on him. 40.
It hasn't been a good year for me.
I was gonna say, Joel, I told you before this episode started, my beef wasn't with you tonight. I have no beef with you tonight. I told you were gonna get maybe a sentence or two from me, and I gave that to you.
Joel, I'll
you
see
got-
you on the show.
You get you get the Celtics chip, you get an Eagles chip. It's not been a good year, brother.
I mean, at
Luka
least you
has
had
the
Chiefs
most
last year.
embarrassing performance in finals history. Mahomes has one of his most pitiful performances we have ever seen.
Here's the thing, Dells, is that there's going to be a bounce back to be had when you had an amazing year like
You
I
do.
did last year.
You are
You're
due.
bound to have. Yeah,
You
you
do.
are due at some point. And I felt like personally, Mahomes was still dealing with the loss of Luka not being on a Dallas Mavericks anymore. I kind of that's his favorite player. He was shell shocked just like all of us, and I reached out to him and sent him a message like, "Hey, we're gonna get through this together, bro." And I think he's clearly still going through it.
Crazy.
Mari goes back to the prior statement for the Packers being the hardest game for the Eagles. If Mahomes had the game that he had today, Love's game is reasonable.
Oh my God.
That's what I was saying. It puts things into perspective.
Both losers.
On the defense is this good. K Films goes Chiefs loss. Move on to the next season. Hope JT and JB can bring another one back to the Garden.
It's not happening this
We're
year.
gonna make that happen.
This
The
is my
Cavs
year.
aren't beating us, by the way.
This is my year, Dels. This is my year.
Who's gonna beat us?
2025. This is
Who?
my year. It's
Who?
either it's Cavs or nothing, brother. It's Cavs or
What about
nothing.
You know
OKC?
OKC don't give a shit.
OKC.
Talk about in the East. Talk about in the East. We gotta get him out. We can't let him go.
Now this
Yeah,
happening, brother.
unfortunately it is Cavs or nothing because the Knicks
Cavs or
don't have
nothing, brother.
the Knicks don't have a chance against the Celtics.
No.
Dels,
They're
Dels, the
done against
entire
Celtics.
Eastern Hemisphere will be rooting for the Cavs, brother.
I know.
It's
I'm
us
actually
versus
ecstatic
Boston.
about that.
And I
Yeah,
very
it's
quickly wanted to get this
lit.
off my chest.
I'm
There we
happy
go.
about that.
Cat is having an amazing season. I don't care about nothing until the playoffs with him
I respect that.
at all. The
Respect
reason
that.
why we got him was to go on a deep playoff run. I don't think this is the year that it is. This is not championship or bust for us. I think we have multiple years to contend, but we got him to make a deep playoff run. And in 3 games against the Cavaliers and the Celtics, he's averaging 11 points and he's only attempting 8 shots per game. We've seen this back in Minnesota, which is why when we first traded for him, I was like, I don't know. He's kind of a playoff underperformer. So I'm looking at the playoffs, and that's how I'm going to judge him. So all it is, 38 points and 16 rebounds against the Wizards. I don't care. Show up against the Celtics and the Cavaliers, and then he gets his
And
props.
Milwaukee. Don't
I know.
sleep.
I know who's going to show up. JB.
That's the only person that's going to show up. Everybody else, I don't have no faith
Listen,
in.
bro, you chose Cat over JB. You said the offense needs to be run by Cat. I'm just saying.
No, Cat was playing better than JB. But in big moments, I would never say I trust Cat over Jalen Brunson. I mean, Drew's just trying to attack everybody out here because he was
I
he ain't
told
picked
you.
the Eagles.
I told you we're getting a sentence or 2 from me. It's the truth.
He's a
Don't
new
be
Knicks
all
guy.
defensive.
Skylar
Don't be
Samuels
all
goes,
defensive.
I'm going to miss the NFL podcast. Love y'all show. Thank God the Birds won and did it easily. Great shows, y'all. Joel will come around to the Hurts greatness.
He's
Gerard
already coming
Skylar,
around.
Bro,
Goes,
run right
oh,
past that
man.
one.
Cooper DeJean might have just inspired an entire generation of white boys to try and play corner.
It's a fact.
Shout out to modern day Jackie, man.
It's Black Ace goes, it hurts me that Drew is already out of the Lamar fan club. Stay strong, brother. He's on a paying trajectory.
All-time
Red
great.
Hood goes, Travis and Jones might retire too. Dynasty over, buddy. Get over it.
Yo, Travis retires tonight.
Chris Jones retires tonight. Oh,
I'm a
Just
geek
wait
out.
until they draft Colson Loveland, baby.
okay.
Or Walter Nolan.
You know the Eagles are getting Abdul Carter, right?
Okay.
Don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it. Just let
Hey,
you know.
listen, I think they're gonna find one of those guys, man.
Or we're
They
trading for
draft
Micah
him.
Parsons. Don't sleep on
Imagine.
something.
Mr.
I would
Super
rather drop
Splash
that.
Jones goes, was Brady 3-2 in his first 5 Super Bowls?
Yes.
Yeah, lost to the Giants.
Yes.
No.
Won his first
Oh yeah, he
two.
was. Oh yeah.
He was. He went 3-0, and then he lost the
Yeah.
next 2.
Yeah. So,
Damn, he thought he cooked with that comment.
yeah. He did.
He thought he
I
cooked
feel
with
like
that comment.
He either you made
Unless
that
he was
comment.
using that in defense of
Yes.
Mahomes.
He either
Oh.
made a comment to defend Mahomes or he made that comment to shit on Mahomes. But one of the two. Still, I agree with this comment. Mahomes needs help. I agree. I do agree.
How
That's
much
gonna
help
do
does
it.
he need?
That's gonna do it for us here on the YouTube live stream. You guys can follow us at Pick a Side Pod on Twitter, at Pick a Side Podcast on TikTok and on Instagram. One more super chat, and then we're out of here. Skylar Samuels goes, Eagles get Myles Garrett, and we run it back. GG's.
We can do it. We can do it.
Bryce Huff, healthy scratch today.
And that's gonna do it for us on the Pick a Side podcast.
You know what's
Thank you guys.
Joel? You know what's funny? We really signed him. He didn't play,
play.
and it doesn't matter.
No,
Yo, that's an indictment on the Jets.
Just
That's
50
like a
million.
triple double whammy on the Jets.
Like we really signed him, and we don't even need him. Like we wasted
I
money.
think the Eagles have three players from the Jets that. I mean, it's Mekhi Becton, is Bryce Huff, and who's the second
Braden
one?
Mann.
Braden Mann. Okay. Yeah.
Braden Mann had a great rookie season. Then he was ass after that.
Okay.
Makai's
awesome.
cool.
You
Makai
have to
cool for
leave
us.
the Jets to succeed.
It's the Philadelphia
Well,
Jets. right
Bryce
there.
Huff hasn't succeeded shit.
No,
Yeah.
but he gets a ring.
No. He does get a ring. He was in
Shout
the
out to him,
locker
man.
room with a cigar.
Shout
I'd
out
be the
to
exact
him.
same way.
Yo, Adele, send us Garrett Wilson.
Ah,
We
He's
have
a
the draft
Bronco.
capital.
You just heard that Rodgers won't be back. That means Garrett Wilson's staying.
Oh, okay. Send the sauce
He
or
does, yeah,
Ahmad.
he's
We'll
like
turn him
that
back
guy.
to sauce.
I'm
What?
just so
He
happy
will be
today's the
turned
day
back
that
to
Mahomes
sauce.
being the GOAT is dead.
Send us Ahmad. We'll turn him back to sauce.
It's not
Nope.
dead. It's just getting started.
lifelong Jet.
It's just getting started, baby.
Lifelong.
We're gonna be back here in 2 years.
Back where?
Who?
You've never been here.
He's talking about
Never been where?
Mahomes. It's his
Get
favorite
rid of
team.
the pin
dude,
tweet,
somebody
pal.
chats.
The pin tweet is dead.
There's always a 1 year gap. You see the Bucks, there was a 1 year gap. The Bengals won. So there's gonna be a 1 year gap, and then Mahomes is gonna three-peat for sure. He's gonna three-peat in his career. He's gonna be the only quarterback to do it.
Dude,
He missed his
Off.
only chance.
This is not his only chance. He's gonna get it again. He's that good.
I don't know. Is he? He looked like shit tonight.
Hey, listen, it's one game. We all get our stinkers, but it's fine. He's gonna bounce back in a major way, and next year he's gonna win MVP.
Probably.
And that's going to do it for us. You guys can follow us on all those platforms I mentioned previously. Thank you guys for watching. We hit over 1,000 viewers consecutively here for most of the stream until now. But we appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like the stream. It helps out the algorithm. And comment if you guys would like to. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.